This is Mehul Mehta and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So there are a lot of students that reach out to me and say, Mehul, like, are there any jobs in the US market? Or we are hearing that students apply to 500 plus applications and they have not heard from even from a single employer or single organization. And see, I'll tell you the problem with that. See, first of all, there are a lot of opportunities in quants in United States. It's just that students do not use the right keywords. So you might be thinking, what are some good keywords to use? I'll let you know. So you can use quant researcher, quant analyst, then quant trader, quant developer, modeler, quantitative finance, and then there are some quants who work on the risk side. So something like credit risk quant, market risk quant, even derivative quants or fixed income quants are some of the positions or titles that I have seen, organization using it. So you might be thinking, I mean, at least I see, good amount of openings in the United States. So you have this question in mind, right? I mean, if there are so many openings, why people are not hearing back from the employer, right? And see, the issue is not with the employer, the issue is with the student's resume. So I was reviewing one person resume and I saw that so he did so this guy did electronic engineering back in India and then came to the United States for pursuing masters in quantitative finance. So when I reviewed the resume, almost 70% of the resume was filled with projects on electronics. Dude, I mean, you are not applying for an electronics job, you are applying for a quantitative modeling job. So what the recruiter wants to see is projects which you have done in your masters, which are based on quantitative modeling or any kind of quantitative analysis which you have done. So I feel like it's the problem is not that firms do not want to recruit. The problem is students do not know how to build a resume. Also, all these universities in US, they do have a career services, but when I do interact with students, what I see is what the career service do is they make your format, like whatever resume you have, they fix it to the US format. But what about the technical skill set that needs to be mentioned in your resume? What about the technical projects that should be there in your resume? No one talks about it. And I feel that is the main stuff. I mean, formatting your resume into US format is not the end of it. I mean, of course, it has to be in the US format. But what recruiters looking for is what are the different kind of quantitative modeling projects you have in your resume, right? So this is like, I feel this is like the biggest issue with the resumes that I see and I review. So, and even people from who transition from, CA to quant, right? I see like, so I was reviewing this resume the other day and I saw like the resume had 70% audit and stuff. I mean, it's good that you have become a CA, but now you are coming to a quantitative world. So now your resume should actually have more of quantitative modeling project and not stuff which are related to audit or taxation, right? And this is like the biggest issue. Even this is not just with chartered accountant, with engineers also. They put so much stuff which are not related to quantitative finance. I was reviewing this other resume and he has written marketing related stuff. I mean, it was close to 50% of his resume was covered with marketing. I mean, no, that is not the way you, at least firms in US work. If someone is looking at your resume, while they scan your resume, they should feel like, yes, you are a quant and you have done multiple projects. So make sure like you have projects on option pricing. It can be as simple as building a Black-Scholes model, binomial tree model for pricing European and American option. And if you want to do further advancements, you can also implement Heston model and also calculate Greeks. Delta, gamma, rho, theta, vega, right? So this is one cool project which can be in your resume. Second project can be stochastic interest rate modeling. I mean, you can start with VESI check and CIR, but the thing is, no one uses VESI check and CIR in the industry. So what they use is again, the advanced model, the two-factor models, right? So make sure like you have good amount of stochastic interest rate modeling. And when I say stochastic interest rate model, it is not just okay. Let's build a VESI check interest rate model and that's done. No, it doesn't work like that. What you need to do is you need to first calibrate the model. Now there are different techniques of calibration, maximum likelihood estimator, maximum likelihood estimator, ordinary least square method, method of movements. There are so many techniques. So use either one of it to calibrate your stochastic interest rate model. Now stress test the model, perform scenario analysis, perform sensitivity analysis, perform back testing. These are the stuff that interviewers want to look in your resume. So as simple as, okay, just writing, okay, I've performed a stochastic SE check interest rate model. No, what have you done except that, other than that, and then using this model to, let's say, price a fixed income bond. So this makes a project complete, and this is what the interviewer is looking for. Simply, so one project, if let's say if you are a quant and if you are interested in market risk, having value at risk model is such an important, I mean, so important for your resume. Now, even I have uploaded a playlist in which I have taught how to build a value at risk model using the variance covariance method, historical method, Monte Carlo method. See, if you see what Quant does is they do the modeling piece. You need to make sure you have certain models in your resume. Let's say if you're someone who's interested in the portfolio side, I mean, there are so many quantitative models which are being used in portfolio. Pharma French three-factor model, Pharma French five-factor models. These are actually used by the industry also. It's just that the factor changes. Even I was checking, like, having a small project such as basically building a portfolio summary. Now, what does the summary capture? It should capture, okay, what is your beta, what is your standard deviation or volatility, then what are the Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio, Trainer ratio, then what is your maximum drawdown, upside capture, downside capture. This is what makes your project complete, not just, okay, and then performing doing building an efficient frontier to understand which is the best risk versus return portfolio you can get in. So these are something what the interviewer wants to see in your resume. And it's not just like, okay, let me put all the other stuff and not put the main stuff. See, interviewer wants to look the modeling piece in a quant resume. if you have not done if you have not built a resume which are modeling oriented, it's highly unlikely that you will get a call. Also, like, I was seeing this other resume and I saw, like, there were a couple of machine learning, natural language processing, and all this bunch of different big data mentioned in their resume. And he said, Mehul, like, I'm not getting interview calls. I mean, dude, just see, I mean, how many banks are looking for neural networks. If you see, most of the quant see I'll tell you, most of the quant related roles are being opened in the banking space. If you see quant trader, highly, 5 or 10% will be quant trader. Then again, let's say 15 to 20% will be quant researcher in the US, I'm saying. But the rest 70% are people who are the openings in the quant analyst and risk analyst space. So what people do is they put all this machine learning, neural network stuff. But just imagine, if you see this 70% of the space, which are mostly banks, right? Financial institution. I mean, how many people need you to understand neural networks? I don't know. I mean, I have never seen any job description which says, and this is a banking. I'm talking about very specific to banking roles, in which they are mentioning, okay, we want you to have neural networks, or we want you to have a knowledge of natural language processing. No, if they want that, they should have hired a data scientist, right? Because a data scientist can do a much better job in all those stuff. So you need to understand what are the requirements by the industry. So having all this, knowledge of fixed income, so important. If you are aiming for quant analyst role or risk analyst role, I cannot tell you how important it is to understand fixed income. And it's not like, okay, you need to build a big project. Even a very small project, like, okay, you have a portfolio, and in your portfolio you have three fixed income products, calculating duration, convexity, and then all this duration also, there are, Macaulay duration, modified duration, dollar duration. And then, okay, making sure, calculating, okay, how much is your total value of the bond, stuff like that. I mean, if you have such things, I mean, recruiter will really, I feel, if you have these things in your resume, and that's what make the recruiter take interest in your profile. I mean, see, this is something which you need to understand. Uh, Make sure whenever you are building a resume, it should be more aligned toward quant related projects, right? And it can be anything, right? So, but make sure, please do not do this mistakes of putting in irrelevant stuff of taxation, marketing, sales, uh, all the electronics project, mechanical project, or stuff like that. What industry requires is you to have a good understanding of derivatives, fixed income, Monte Carlo, stochastic calculus, risk management, right? This is what industry is looking for. Of course, see, Python, data science, those are just a tool to implement all the different models, right? But this is what industry is looking for. So make sure you have your resume aligned with these. See, and as people say, oh, there are very less job, I would highly deny that. There are a lot of job openings in the United States. And in this particular field, I feel the supply is less and the demand is very high. So this is where, people should take advantage of this. But I've seen like they do not focus on the art of building their resume. And I feel that is the main issue why people are not getting, or let's say, why students are not getting interview calls. So I would highly suggest, there are a lot of job openings in the US market, and these are specific to quant or risk related roles. It is just that make sure you have a right resume. You are using the LinkedIn right. Please make sure you have a your LinkedIn is optimized. I see, like, when I visit LinkedIn profiles, I mean, they have not written anything, and this is where the issue is. If you see HR, right, I mean, before calling you, they also look at your LinkedIn profile. And if your LinkedIn profile does not sounds interesting to you, I mean, of course they will call you, but that biasness comes in the mind. So I will highly suggest you to also optimize your LinkedIn. So these are some steps which you can take to take advantage of the job market right now. And I wish you all the best. I hope you learn a lot. You might have learned a lot from this video. But if you have any such questions regarding your resume or regarding any other point related to job openings or stuff, please reach out to me. Please comment in this YouTube comment box, and I'll be more than happy to help you. So thank you, and I wish you all the best for your jobs. Bye bye.